What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Opinionated Off Topic. We're in Dallas, if you guys have seen the other podcasts, but we got Carlos Mojica, co-founder of Opinionated Podcast, joining us. We got CJ, co-owner of Opinionated Media, not podcast media, my bad, media, here as well. And we also got Haleigh Weaver joining us. Super excited to have her on. She's a good friend of mine. Met her, shout out to the River Rats. Justin wanted to shout out, so if you know, you know. But met her on the San Bernard, and she's a great person, and excited to hear about her journey and what she's trying to start for herself. So without further ado, let Carlos jump it off.
Is the River Rats a fun time?
Oh, it's always a great time.
Yeah, he always sends me like videos and everything.
No, we go crazy at the river.
Crazy. Yeah, I want to go on that boat one day. I don't know how I'll be if I'll last, but I want to.
Hey, maybe you can join us one day.
He knows Justin.
Well, I know Justin.
Oh, you
do?
I
went to Durango twice to go visit him. So
well, you're definitely
I've met Dre, I've met Justin. Visit. Who else is there? I've met all of them.
Big Josh.
Yeah, Quaylar. Yeah. I've met Justin's brother, Tyler.
I swear that's the place to meet people. I've met so many people through that river
group?
house. Yes.
Yeah. But thank you for taking the time out your day.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah. But just give us a little backstory, where you're from, where you came from, all that good stuff.
So I'm originally from Houston, Texas, but I say that because people normally don't know Missouri City, but I am from Missouri City. I grew up going to Fort Bend Christian Academy. It's in Sugar Land, Texas. Mm-hmm. But then it was 10th grade. I transferred to public school because I was like, I'm sick of being in that small class of 50 people. I need to go out and see how it is with being in a huge class, especially with going to college and everything. So made that transition and was at Ridge Point High School from 10th grade to 12th grade. And so after that, ended up going to college at the University of Oklahoma.
Boomer.
I was not going to go there at first. I was so against it because growing up, my family's a huge OU family. Like, you don't understand. Our house, we have this room that is... all the walls are painted with OU stuff, and there's we had someone that came in and did the custom painting and everything, and it on one side it shows little football players going at each other, and there's UT on one side and then OU on the other.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we have a OU golf cart, so it's been this ongoing tradition with people going there, or to OU, and so my dad went there. My older brother went there, and then my cousin went there. My uncle went there, so I was like, there's no way. I'm not going to OU. I cannot. And so I applied to TCU, Arkansas, and Bama. And then this was I forgot when it was, but it was one weekend I went down, and my brother was just like, Haleigh, just go see how it is, and then decide that way on where you want to go. And so ended up making it down to OU one weekend, and I was like, all right, I'm going here. This is where I want to go. I had the best time, and here I am. I'm an alum. I graduated in 3.5 years. Have no idea how I pulled that off, because going in, I was like, I'm going to do the full 4 years, all that. And, I had my little party phase at the beginning and everything, and then as college went on, I realized, I don't know, just maturing and everything. I was like, I'm just over this party scene and everything. I'm focused on what I want in my future and all that.
We were just talking about that last night.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. And it's just especially going to OU, with being in Norman, it feels like you can't escape. I mean, you have OKC and all that, but it's very small. You have the same 4 bars, all of that. And I feel like everyone knows everyone. I swear, I know whenever we would go out to the bars, I would run into the same people. The night would go exactly how I knew it would. And so I was like, I'm just over this. I'm getting out. And so it was my junior year. I was like, beginning before junior year started, I was like, I'm going to graduate early. And so I went into my advisor, and she was like, Haleigh, this is not possible. There's no way you're going to graduate early. You've too many hours left. And because I didn't take any, college credit classes in high school. So I was like, the way I am, I'm like, I will find a way. There's going to be a way. I'm going to go map it out myself since she's trying to tell me that there's no way, and I know that I can make it happen. So I mapped it all out on my little paper, and I ended up figuring it out. Like if I took a winter session, you know how they do the little small little sessions, and
like the little 6-week classes.
Yeah, and so I took that paper into her, and I was like, it's possible. Like, I'm graduating early. And so she was like, okay, well, your paper, it's missing like 3 hours, or it was 6 hours that were missing on there. But she was like, I can tell that you're determined to graduate early and all that. And this is the time when also she knew that I started a business and all of that. And she was like, okay, I understand she has to graduate because, juggling that. I'll get into that whenever we talk about that. But anyway, she was like, I'll take off those 6 hours for you. So here I am, graduated in 3.5 years, and would have never saw that coming. So,
that's dope.
Yeah.
Did you, first, what did you graduate with?
I graduated with an advertising degree. I did have my minor in entrepreneurship, but then I wasn't going to be able to graduate early if I had that minor. And I'm like, I started a store. I feel like
that's already enough entrepreneurship.
I mean? And like all this stuff, like I did take all the entrepreneurship classes I needed, and I could have fulfilled everything for that minor, except I was lacking that one class. And I'm like, I'm not going to let one class just, prevent me from graduating. Yeah. So I was just like, I'm dropping it. And I had a talk with my parents, and they agreed that the store was like enough, to take. So.
Did you? Quick question: did you go to any football games before you went to OU?
I think I went to 3.
That's a real OU fan right there.
Man, I remember wearing my little cheer uniform, my OU cheer uniform, when I was a little girl, and I would wear that to the game. So. And also, all my family is like on my dad's side grew up in Tulsa. And so everyone would always come together and come down for the games whenever we would go up there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, there's no shot of you going to Texas, huh?
What?
There's no shot of you going to There's no shot of you going to Texas?
Oh, to UT?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's okay. Can't win them all.
I was like, what?
She's like, I beg your pardon.
She don't even recognize us. Bro. Oh, man. Damn.
Oh man. So I guess going to school, were you in a Greek life at all? Okay.
I was in a sorority. I was a tridel. That was definitely going into college. I was like, oh my gosh, people are like Greek life. It's so awesome. Yeah. All this stuff. And I was super excited, and my rush went amazing. And I ended up going tridel, but I ended up all my friends that I ended up having in college, they ended up not being tridelts. They ended up being girls from different houses. And so I feel like my time with tridel, I had many different things that happened to me with that house, and but I feel like it happened for a reason, and it's helped shape who I am now. And so, but yeah, I was a part of sorority. I was tridel. So, I mean, I had my times that were good, my times that were horrible because I almost dropped. But I ended up staying and sticking it out.
Okay.
So, and I'm happy I did because I've had opportunities that have come up from me staying in, being able to do pop-ups for family weekends and all that for my store. So.
What's life like in Greek life? Because what I see is just nothing but partying.
And my brother is in Greek life at Tech, so I kind of see it from him.
I just see, from the outside looking in, I just see the sororities and the frats, it's just nothing but just parties. Is that how it is actually, or is it there's other stuff more to it than that? I mean, it's what you insert yourself into when it comes to the Greek life. You have the option to participate in other things. They have this thing called Big Event, I think it's called. I may be Big Event. I think that's what it's called, or I cannot remember. But anyways, it's just you
it's like you do stuff for the community and everything. And so, I mean, you can do things like that. Then they have other stuff you can do within the actual whatever fraternity or sorority that you're in. They do philanthropy events. And there's mandatory ones, but it's like you can get out of those. So it's, I mean, I would say overall, yes, it's definitely partying and, you know, mixers, doing all that. Yeah. So, yeah.
I feel like that's just how, like, college is in general, though. You know, like, it's kind of whatever you, like, put into it is what you get out of it type of deal. You know what I mean? And, like, I feel like the main thing with, like, being a part of Greek life is, like, the connections, like she was saying. Like, that's probably the biggest benefit of being a part of that because, like, you know, as someone that just kind of was going to school and not really, like, a part of anything like that, like, you kind of have something to attach to, and like you like are like going through the same thing everybody is going through type of vibe. So
no, I understand. Like for him, like he didn't go to Greek like he played football. So like those are the connections.
Exactly.
He made,
Exactly. Yeah, because I mean, I talked to my brother because my brother didn't play sports in college, like he's not playing, but he wasn't in Greek life his freshman year, but he was like, I have nothing to do. I just go to school. Like, I want to have like an organization or like people that are all kind of doing the same thing to have friends. It's like a good way to like have friends, resources, all that stuff. So I mean, there's a lot that can come with it.
Yeah.
Is it expensive?
It is definitely expensive. I mean, with me staying in my house, I definitely paid for like, I don't know. I just feel like it is a lot of money, and if you don't really love it and you don't see any purpose of really being in that anymore, I personally wouldn't waste my money. I only stayed in it for obvious reasons because it's going to be good long term, you know? And so...
Is each, I guess, are they called houses?
Yeah, you can
Is
call
each
it a
house like different amounts of money?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's ones that have to pay more dues, which, you know... I really don't understand that, you know what I mean?
You're all doing the same thing anyways.
Yeah.
I guess it just,
like
the prestige, I guess.
And probably like what you have too. Like, I mean, I've been watching these dudes on YouTube and they like go around different colleges in the US.
Yeah.
And like they go to each frat house and like some are super nice.
Oh,
have, like cooks and stuff. And then some are kind of
No, OU definitely has that. Like, have you heard of the Beta House at OU? Well, it's like known as a historical landmark now. This house looks like a castle, and if you compare it to like the Lambda House right over in the same area, it's like you're shocked. You're like, why would anyone want to live in Lambda? Yeah. But anyways, obviously Beta's going to be paying more money because you know they have their house, all of that. Yeah.
So, you get a lot of work done.
Like it living in and stuff. I personally never lived in, so I didn't get to ever really experience that. Gotcha. And I do have to say, like, that was my sophomore year. I didn't live in because that's normally when you live in. And I chose not to because I was like, there's no way I can be in this small space sharing it with someone after we have to do that freshman year. And I ended up trying that out my freshman year of college, and it just didn't end up working out. And I ended up moving out into a different dorm because also the dorm we were in have horrible mold issues, and so I was always sick. So I moved to a different dorm by myself, and that's when I really learned like I like living alone. I'm very independent, and I mean I wasn't really independent at that time, but I had to learn how to be independent because of that. And so I was like, there's no way I'm gonna go back to living with someone else in a room. And so and then you have to follow all these rules and everything. And I mean, it's not bad. Like I don't break the rules all the time. But like at the time I didn't want to have to like, you know, I just wanted to be able to do what I want to do and escape that sorority.
Yeah.
Like,
dorms are stress too. Cause even when we went to visit Chris, like bed. So Chris. Roebuck. It's like bed, and it's like you have no privacy, nothing,
not
at
all.
Like
you're.
Even then, like even if you want to go shower, you got to walk down the hallway. Like because this was at Texas State, so I don't know if it's like the same at Oklahoma or not. But this is at Texas State, but you have to walk down the hallway, and like the shower and the bathroom are in like the same place, and like the shower is just a public shower. And you don't have your own personal shower.
Yeah, it typically just depends too, like where you like what kind of dorm you have. Because I remember when you visited me, like I had my own room, small as shit, but we had like a bathroom, but it was like shared between just 4 rooms. It wasn't like
Yeah.
So it does just depend.
Yeah, because like I mean, for him at least he had privacy. Because when I visited him, I don't know about your freshman year because I didn't go, but
you came out junior year.
Your junior and senior year.
Senior.
For when I went to visit him, at least he had his own room. I mean, like you said, it was small, but at least it was still his own room.
Yeah.
If he didn't want to leave whoever the hell he was next to, he could.
Yeah, you can't live alone in our the sorority I was in unless you were like the president or someone like that's special that, you know?
Really? Yeah, so every room had like at least 2 people in it?
Yeah, well, there were some rooms that, was it 3? It was either 3 or 4 girls. There's like different rooms, and it all depends on the way they decide who gets what room is based on dolphin dots. And you have to do.
What is that?
What is
that? Yeah, what is this? Sorry.
They call it dolphin dots. It's where you go out and you do the extra things to like earn, like, okay, I'm gonna get a point for doing this. I'm gonna get a point for doing the extra philanthropy events.
It's
stuff
like
that.
It's like when you make a big play in like football, they put a sticker on your helmet type shit. Got you. For sure.
Brownie points.
Yeah. So. And I would have like not been in a good room.
I would not have been. I would have been no stars on my shit.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah. Let's say question. Since we're talking about like Greek life and stuff like that, would you recommend people to join it or?
I feel like Greek life, at least at OU, it's so different than what it used to be. I feel like now. The way, like, especially, like, I was talking to my older brother about it. This was whenever I was struggling to decide, okay, do I want to drop or not, all this stuff. And he's just like, yeah, y'all's Greek life is just not what it used to be. Like, I forgot how he was explaining it to me, the way it was when he was there versus whenever I was. But I just feel like, I don't know. I don't think you have, like, as a girl, I don't think you have to go into Greek life. I don't think it's necessary. I feel like if you go out, you're going to have to go out of your way to meet people, obviously. Like, that's one thing I've learned with being out of college now. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't really know anyone in Dallas. And, like, all of the people that I'm friends with now that I'm, like, it's very, like, a consistent friendship now. I met them through social media. I posted TikToks. I posted Instagram things saying like I'm looking for friends, and like I don't really care what people think anymore.
Yeah.
I used to be the type of person who cared a lot.
Yeah.
And now I got to a place where I'm like, I don't care if people think that I'm a loser for asking for friends. I don't really care. And so anyways, the point is like I've met people because of social media, and I feel like you can definitely nowadays you have that opportunity to go that route instead of having to go into Greek life, and especially if you can't afford it, like you have that easy option. You just have to get out there and post.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, that's good to know, because I mean, you can make some of the best friendships through like, you know, social media. For us, like there's friendships that we met through people like just playing games online through like COVID and stuff. Like it's just crazy how stuff works now.
I know. Yeah. I don't know what I would have done without social media when it came to like finding friends in Dallas, because literally every person that I've met is because of social media, like my TikTok. That's exactly how.
Oh yeah.
And I've definitely had people come at me on TikTok like that were rude, and they were like telling me to like stay in my state and everything, and that I did not come to Texas and everything, and I'm just like, go away.
I'm from Houston.
I know, that's what I said. So then after I was kind of like a smart ass and posted this one video, and I did it with the little funny I don't know if y'all have heard it. I forgot what voice.
It's like the robot voice, or
it was the one that sounds like a deep, like, I'm not even gonna try to say how it is, but it's like a guy voice and all that. Okay. So, but anyways, it was like funny, and I was just like explaining the situation. I'm like, dude, I'm not even from Oklahoma. I'm from Texas. And then I explained the whole situation, because it wasn't just one person. Like, it was multiple people, and they're like, oh my gosh, you act like it's going to be so bad when you graduate. Like half of OU goes to Dallas when they graduate. And I'm like, well, they may go to Dallas, but like they're not people that I'm friends with, you know?
Exactly.
For sure.
So like, please hop off.
Yeah, no, I understand for sure.
No doubt. So I guess you're in college, you're going through your college experience. What made you decide to getting the clothing and like starting a business? Was that something you were always interested in, like dressing nice and wearing nice clothes, or like how did that come about?
So so growing up, I've always been into fashion. Everyone would always ask me, Haleigh, like, where'd you get that? Where'd you get this? Blah, blah, blah. And so I would tell them. And so anyways, I did not have this vision of opening up a store going into college. Like, my vision was, okay, I'm going into college. I'm going to get an advertising degree, and I'm going to go down the route of either sales or real estate, because I've always been told, Haleigh, you would be really good at this because you love to be around people, speak, all that. And so you're a good talker. So I was going down that route, and I was starting to get my real estate license. And because I was like, I'm going to try this while I'm in college, and I can see if I really do enjoy it. I'm on the first chapter of the real estate little lesson thing that you have to learn, because you have to take the test and everything, and that's what I was getting ready for. And I was like, this is not for me. Like, I do not see myself doing it. And growing up, my dad owns his own commercial real estate company. So obviously, like, I'm very knowledgeable in that side of things already. And then my mom was in residential real estate. And then my older brother's now working for my dad at the commercial real estate company. But anyways, I was like, not doing this. So I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life. Like, I had no vision of where I saw myself. And so I was like, I'm going to stop stressing. I'm just going to start praying and give it to God, and just try to get, that sense of, maybe it'll come to my head of what I want to do. And so anyways, as time goes on, I'm like walking. This is like during like COVID, and I'm just like going on. I did a ton of running during that time and walking and stuff. And one day I was on my walk, and it came to me, and I was like, boutique. I was like, I wonder what it would be like to be a boutique owner. I'm like, I could see myself doing this. I'm like starting it in college and all this stuff. And so I was like, my parents may think I'm crazy for this, because normally back whenever I was younger, I was the type of person, I'm very ADHD, and I still am to this day, but it's not nearly as bad as how it used to be. And so I used to be the type of person who would pop around from thing to thing. Like, when it came to sports, I've done every sport out there probably, because I was never able to stick with one, And so I thought my parents would take the idea like that, how I was then. So I was like, I'm like at a place where my maturity is, I'm going to stick with it. And so I went to my mom first, and she was like, I was like, hey, I want to start a boutique. Like, I don't know what you think about this. I could bring you on as a partner. You're not really doing anything, because Ben's now off at college, my younger brother. Yeah. And so she was like, I think that's a great idea. You need to go to your dad, though, and talk to him. So I was like, I was so scared. I was like, oh, I don't know why I was so nervous. I just didn't want him to, like, turn it down and all this stuff. And so I go to him like 2 hours later after I thought of what I needed to say. And so I was like, hey, Dad, like, this idea may sound crazy, but I want to start a clothing boutique. And I'm like, starting it in college is the time to start it. Like, I'm going to be a walking billboard. Everyone already asks me where I get my clothes all the time. Like, this is the perfect time. And so he's like, all right, that sounds like a great idea, but you're going to have to figure out what it takes to start a business. I had no idea how to start a business. I had to figure out every single thing on my own. And he was like, if you figure this out, I will give you what you need to start this business. And so I did that. I'm very persistent too. So I'm not like going to just, let things sizzle for a few days. I was right on it after that conversation. And I was literally headed to Dallas Market, where you buy your clothes, a week and a half later. So like that, I don't know how I figured it out, but I just had my mind on that one thing. And I was like, this is what I want to do. So I'm going to make it happen. So it's kind of a funny story because of how everything happened at Market. Like, going into Market, me and my mom had no idea what to expect. Like, I did my research and everything, but it's like you don't really know till you get there. And so we're going in very blindly, and so we get there, and the stories that we have together there, I don't know how we managed to make pull everything off because it is so hard to get into market. Like, they don't just let anyone in. You have to have your sales tax permit. You have to have all your documents. And I did not, going into that, the first market, they're like, can we have your sales tax permit? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have my I don't have I didn't have a sales tax permit during that time. So that was the one thing that I messed up on. But I go, my mom's like starts walking away from me because she knows, oh God, like, we don't have that. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So I like call my dad. I'm like, hold on, ma'am. I think I left it at home. I'm walk away for a sec. I'm like, Dad, I don't have the sales tax permit. My dad, that's the one thing he did for me, is he got everything together and got me that sales tax permit so I could be at market and buy the clothes. Because if it weren't for us having the sales tax permit, we were gonna have to drive 4 hours back to Houston. And I'm not trying to just drive here for no reason. So I go, ma'am, can I just like get this to you like by the end of the day and all this stuff? And she's like, sure, sweetie, like that's totally fine. And I was like, this is so God, like being there, like, that's how I knew, like, this is the path I'm supposed to go down. I'm just like that. I believe in stuff like that where it's like, if it's falling into place, like it's supposed to happen, And so just everything that happened at market the first time just was so funny, but also such a learning experience. And I'll never forget those memories that I have with my mom there. And so, anyways, that's how everything started with that. And I'm definitely glad I've had my mom along the way.
So when you go to the store, do you like buy the stuff as is, or is it like it's like product and you just kind of make it to what it is?
So the way it works is you go to market 4 times a year. I mean, you don't have to go to market, but you can. Mm-hmm. I like to go because you see the stuff in person. You see that, okay, this is good quality, all that, And so, anyways, you buy it in packs, and the way it is like you get 2 smalls, 2 mediums, 1 large. And sometimes they'll throw in 2 extra smalls, or they'll just vary, Mm-hmm. And so that's the way you buy. The buying works on that. And then you can also, like, we place online orders all the time through these things. It's called like Fashion Go. There's Fair. There's like different like platforms you can buy from on, and all the vendors because you buy from vendors. These are the people that are making your clothes and everything. And so most of the time you place your orders at market and everything, but you can end up canceling them, doing all that. And then just buying, like I said, online. So we're constantly having to go online and buy stuff because, we don't want to just have stuff the old stuff just sitting there. Because I'm not just online. I'm in 3 locations. I'm inside of these things called the Painted Tree Boutiques. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of that, but it's like a marketplace for different vendors. And the way it works is you have your little space, and they're like these built-up walls in between each other. And the sizes like depend on whatever you want or whatever they have available and all that. And so anyways, you pay rent like, once a month and all that. And then they make 10% of sales. Then that way you don't have to worry about hiring employees. You don't have to worry about, making the utilities, like all of that sort of things. And so that's why we were like, this is a great concept and we want to try it out. And that's because with me being in college too, my mom brought this. She was the one who brought doing the painted tree up. And so I was like, okay, like I was very hesitant at first because I was like, no one's really gonna know about that. Like I didn't even know about it until she like told me. And so anyways, we tested it out, our first location in Sugar Land, and it was doing amazing. We were in a small space. I can't remember the square footage of what that was. And now we're in a way bigger space because it's done so well. And then now we expanded to Frisco, Texas. And then that one is like a smaller space. And then we're in Kingwood, Texas. And
where's that?
It's over up by Spring.
Okay.
Oh, so like another Houston store.
Yeah, it's another Houston store.
Yeah.
But we're looking to expand more in Dallas too. Like there's Richardson Hills or North Richard. I know it's one of those, but
is there a painted tree in like Austin area?
They're literally everywhere. I don't know if it's in Austin or not, but they are all over the United States.
Okay,
One thing I have to say though is I thought it would be easy having like, my little store in Frisco while I was in college, but it's like it was impossible to really add new stuff all the time because it's like I'm in college and I don't have the time to come 2 hours and 45 minutes, whatever it is, to get to that location. And so, and also all the inventory, that's like been a struggle also.
Yeah.
Is the inventory situation was my mom everything was getting shipped to our house in Houston because we have this huge room where it's just dedicated to inventory, all the stuff for our store. And so it's like, I was never able to get access to that unless she came up and brought it to me. And so the Frisco store was kind of just at a sit still because it's like we're not updating anything, Would
your stuff gets like sold out quickly, like at those booths?
The Sugarland in Kingwood, the stuff gets sold out so fast. My mom's having to constantly go in there literally all the time to update everything, bring in new stuff. And the Frisco one, it's just, I don't know what it is. It's just not been very good for us. And that's why I told my mom, I'm like, we need to try a different location. Like, I just don't think it's worth just having this booth, like, whenever people aren't really buying from it. And so, it's trial and error with business.
Yep.
Like, you got to test it out and see if it's going to work or not, because you'll never know if you don't. So we tested that out, but we'll probably end up closing that location. But right now, like even with me being here, now that I'm able to get inventory, now I have inventory with me. I bring it there all the time and I'm updating it, but it's still so slow.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has to do with the way the Painted Trees advertising. I'm not too sure because I thought it was a great location. It's off of a very busy road. And so, I don't know. I mean, I promote it on my social media, like the store's social media, but I don't know. But, we'll see what happens. My long-term goal is I want to end up in a warehouse because my sales online are so much, so big.
Yeah.
And so I know I'll get there. It's just consistency is key. Like that's been something that I've learned, like especially with social media, like you have to be consistent or people are not going to want to buy from you or follow you. It's so hard to get a follower on Instagram. That is one platform that is so hard.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating, but it's like, you just got to stay consistent. And I don't know, but my TikTok, it's easier to grow on TikTok. I've figured that out. Way easier. People are more likely to follow you. I don't know how it's been with y'all with TikTok.
He does all the social media
it's
stuff.
more like TikTok is very like,
I can tell you.
TikTok's very like, I don't know. It's pretty hard for us. I think we post.
Really?
Yeah, I think we post great content. Like I think our content. I mean, even like the setup and stuff. Like I think the quality, our content. You just tighten that. Yeah.
My fault.
Sorry. Yeah, but
My
I think
bad,
the
guys.
content, the quality of the content is like really good. Instagram is like pretty slow.
Yeah.
But I think we're starting to kind of get more momentum. Obviously, we're on YouTube and all that stuff, and that shit is so hard to do. But we're finally starting to get a little momentum.
I bet. Yeah.
But I don't know. I think going back to what you said about trying to get a follower on Instagram. I think a lot of the times when you like start a business or content or something you're trying to do, a lot of people aren't trying to follow you because they know it's you.
Yeah.
So then like they're like more inclined to be like, oh, I know her like personally or him personally, so I'm not going to go follow what he's trying to do outside of the norm. And so you got to really like either blow up and then make them follow you or they got to like, you just got to make your presence felt, like you said. So you got to be consistent. It's hard.
Especially with the way Instagram has changed. Like, I'm not a fan of Reels. Like, it's like I'm going to go on TikTok if I want to see, videos and all that. But unfortunately, the way it's moving is as a clothing brand, I think it's very frustrating to have to make Reels all the time because people don't want to see the same content on Instagram and TikTok, they don't want you to post it, especially as a clothing brand. I've done my research, I've listened to conferences, all that. getting other people's feedbacks and they say the same exact thing. So it's like, I don't know. The social media thing has been definitely a learning lesson, and I'm still trying to figure it out.
I feel like a lot of just like also the algorithm.
The algorithm. Oh my gosh, I know.
It's getting hard. I mean, I don't know much about Instagram, but I feel like it's just through all the platforms, just getting harder and harder and harder to like catch it, because it just getting the platform is just getting older and older. And older.
Yeah.
So like everyone has Instagram. Obviously, it was a lot easier when it first came out because it's new.
Yeah.
Than TikTok now, like everybody's on TikTok, like doing it, and then they found out like, oh, I can blow up off TikTok. So now everybody's trying to blow up off TikTok,
and they made it harder.
So they made it harder. I feel like it's just a lot of it's just algorithm, really.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
See, with my own, like I do influencing on my, like for my personal self, and I've felt like it's so much easier for me to grow on my TikTok than it is my Instagram. And even with my TikTok for my boutique, I'm like, it's even hard. It's much harder for me to grow with my boutique on TikTok than it is my personal brand. And I'm just like trying to understand that, you know? Because I get so and it has to do with the algorithm. Because my views on TikTok sometimes for my boutique will get 60 views. In my personal, I'll be hitting 300K. So it's like,
what is your personal TikTok? What does that consist of?
It's literally everything.
Right,
I have I do my personal TikTok is like OOTDs, get ready with me's. I'll do my PR hauls.
Yeah, I would say like do you do like little vacation dumps and stuff on there? Like you record videos and stuff?
Oh, I mean I've done like a little bit, but what I found when I started getting a lot of views was whenever I started doing Amazon finds. It's like fashion stuff. And so I don't know, I feel like that's the side of TikTok I need to focus more on, because if people are responding more to that, then it's like that's what I need to go for. And so it's just a lot as a whole, trying to balance my personal with wanting to grow on my personal, wanting to grow on my boutique. You know, it's just a lot. And that's one thing with being out of college. My post grad has been very difficult for me. I mean, it's getting way better, but it's been difficult because it's like I have to have a schedule, or I'm not going to get things done. Yeah. Because my mind's all over the place because ADD. Yeah. And it's like I don't know. You just have to stick to the same schedule every single day. And then that way I can tackle each thing that I need to do for my personal and then my store. Yeah. So I'm still trying to figure it out. It's been a time of learning, definitely.
Yeah. So one thing I was going to ask you, how difficult, since you started it in college, how difficult was it to like do your school stuff and then also do your business / like learn in your business?
You know, it was difficult, but I feel like now that I'm out of college, it's been like it's weird because it's like I was in 22 hours. That's a lot. Yeah. You know, like I went over the amount you're actually allowed to take. And so I had to get approved to take my 22 hours. And so I feel like I don't know. I feel I wouldn't say it was too hard. It was still a challenge, but I mean, I wasn't really able to focus on the business because I didn't have the stuff. Like I said, I couldn't create content. Yep. My mom doesn't know how to create content. Like I'm having to tell her, Mom, this is what we have to do. Like that's what I'm in charge of. And that's why also when I got out of college, I was like, all right, this is the plan. I had a meeting. I was like, this is what I plan to do. I wanted to do a rebranding. The reason being is because my logo at first used to give very high school vibes, college, I would say like freshman year vibes of college. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want that vibe anymore, you know? And also my Instagram, it was not good in college for my boutique. Yeah. I mean, it was all right, but it was not good. Yeah. And so I was like, this rebranding is going to show people I'm serious and it's going to give that mature look, you know? Because now my logo, I have like browns and like khaki colors now. So yeah, I just was like, this is the way better that I want to be known for.
Was it always called Off the Wall?
Yeah, it's always been called Off the Wall Fashions because the reason how I got that name was because my Nana actually used to have a clothing boutique long time ago. And it was in Ohio, Akron, Ohio. And my mom's like, you should take this name. So I went to see if it I could get that name. And so when registering and everything, and I was able to get it. And, people like to come at me sometimes, like especially vendors. I was at market. This was literally the most recent market, I think a month ago. And the guy looked at me and he's like, looks at my name tags. We used to wear these tags on you. And he's like, do you ever get in trouble for copying bands? And I'm like, dude, obviously if I'm here right now, I'm like, I have the name, I'm not getting in trouble, but people definitely come at me for that.
Slogan,
it's just like Vans off the wall.
Yeah.
Like, is that part of the name though? Or is that their
it's like their slogan.
Yeah, it's like just do it type shit.
Yeah,
You know,
it's literally like that.
Yeah,
because they put it on the back of the shoe. Like it literally says off the wall.
Can you copyright a slogan or no?
Probably, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure. If you were going around saying just do it, Nike would probably see you, just because it's their thing.
Yeah,
maybe.
But people definitely came at me and they're like, you ever run into issues or, just why'd you copy that? Sorry. You're good. But, I'm like, there's a story behind it. My Nana, back in the day, she had that store. And I just think that's really cool that I have that name now. And she's fire. She really loves that I have a boutique now, too, that's her name. So that's cool. Where I got the name.
Nice,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So what separates your boutique from other boutiques?
So I would say a couple reasons. My first being my customer service. Whenever I see an issue, whenever we see there's an issue with someone's order or they have a question or anything, I tell them, okay, can you give me your phone number? I'll pick up the phone and personally call you. Other boutiques, they're not doing that. They're doing emails. It's feeling more personal when someone's picking up their phone and taking the time to do that versus writing behind a screen, Yeah. And so I would say that's the number one thing that sets us apart because obviously we do sell things that other stores have and our pricing is another thing. I would say our pricing is pretty good. A lot of these stores upcharge way too much, and I feel like the reason why I want to charge what I charge is because, not a lot of people can spend, $100 on a shirt all the time. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to make it affordable for people, especially with being in college. Whenever I was in college, I was like, it needs to be affordable for college students. And so that's why we price everything at what we do. And then I would just say also with me being young, being a 22-year-old boutique owner, I know the trends. I know how to put together outfits. I know how to do all that. So I would say those three things are what really set me apart from everyone else. So.
Do you think the older you get, changes how the clothing is? Because obviously when you started in college, you're appealing to a certain demographic and you wanted to rebrand. But as you get older and then more of a business setting and things like that, do you think the clothes are going to evolve with you, or do you think you're going to still keep some of your stuff for the younger generation, but also have clothing for your appropriate age or older
I definitely want to keep it where it's I do have clothing for whenever I do get older, that for people my age, and then also the younger, because I don't know, I feel like I'll always really still know just because I'm into fashion and everything. And it's easy to keep up with fashion trends. You just got to do your research and all that. And so, and also I actually am planning on going to the men's side of things.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I want to expand to the men's side because all my guy friends, they're always telling me Haleigh, you need to open up a men's side. You can't, there's can you think of any places out there where you can go into a store and be find men's clothes when it comes to a boutique wise? Are there any men's clothing boutiques?
Not that
I
know.
Really.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
everything's so either designer or commercial retail.
Yeah. So that's why I was I want to go try to tap into that market and see how things go with that. And I have two brothers, and I'm always helping them out with the way they dress. Yeah. And they always end up liking it. And like my little brother, he FaceTimes me from college. He's like, "Does this look good? Does this match?" So I'm like, I'm definitely gonna test that out and see how it goes. Yeah. But we can only do one thing at a time, and I'm focusing on my side of things right now. And then maybe in like 2 years from now or a year and a half, I'll go and test that side of things. So we'll see. I have like a lot of ideas. But it's just like I gotta focus on the one of what I'm doing currently.
Yeah, I feel like that'll be super like fire, just because obviously like for the most part, like all of us, like we're in the streetwear, like that's like the thing, and that streetwear is pretty easy to dress in for the most part. But what I've like getting older, I've struggled with like business casual or like casual, you know what I mean? So it'd be cool to see like that if you go that route, like that route on clothing and like helping like men, like, oh, I'm gonna go to happy hour with my coworkers, like what are you gonna wear? Because you obviously don't want to wear streetwear everywhere.
No,
of course not.
I'm wanting to have everything for men. I also want to do the athletic side of things because I do athletic stuff for my store right now on the women's side, and it's very affordable. Like you can get like a set of like biker shorts and a matching biker short set with a top for like $12 for my store. Really? So so I'm definitely gonna go that route too with the men's. So I'm excited to see where I'm gonna end up. Like, I'm only 22. That's what's so crazy is I'm only 22 and I can't imagine where I'm gonna be at like 27. Yeah, I'm like,
I didn't know you were that young. To be honest, I thought you were like already like we're about to be 26. So,
See, I'm friends with a lot of older people. I think I surround myself around. I don't really surround myself as much around my age because I feel like just the immaturity. Like I want different things than other people. You know, I feel like
that was
a great
answer. I was just texting him about like the same exact thing. Now the immaturity than like the partying part of it. I was just texting him last night about that.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know, when you get to a certain age, like I think it's just different for like people like us. Like we're trying to do something out the norm, so you kind of understand it at a different level. So it makes you want to, not kind of be with everyone else doing like different things or whatever, and kind of be focused.
Also, I have to say, like hanging around like all of your friends, like meeting them, like Justin and Ty Reed, and just everyone your age, like it's just like they're in medical sales doing all of that, and like everyone's just like building their careers, and it's like you are who you surround yourself around, and so that's definitely, I feel like with being friends with like all of your friends has definitely taught me a lot, and ever since I started being friends with them, I've surrounded myself around much older people like that. Like I would say a majority of my friends are like 24 and up, so I can't think of really anyone my age that I surround myself around.
That's good though. That's good. Go ahead.
I have a question. Yeah. You're saying that you're kind of tapped into like the whole like fashion trends and stuff. So what's the next like thing? Like what's the next trend you think?
I mean, I don't know.
I was just curious. I didn't know if you're like, like you have the insider scoop or something.
No,
you know
I don't have the insider scoop right now. I wish I did.
What do you
going to market also, they do these fashion shows, and it's always like, it's so crazy the way people put together outfits, because it's like, I would never think to do that. Like there was, for instance, they had this like button up with like a scarf tied around, and it's like, I would have never, with jeans and like heels, and it's like, I would never have thought to put it together, but somehow it looked good. So it's just like also going to like, fashion shows that they have and stuff, that also helps with staying on the trends. And I know Pinterest is also another good place to look at, So.
Growing up, were you a creative person?
I would say yes and no. I don't know. I feel like also I'm a very hands-on person, so I don't know. I feel like, I guess I would say I'm creative, because that's why I was like, I'm going to go advertising route with my degree instead of marketing, because numbers are not my thing. So I was like, I'll have more fun with the creative side. And, advertising, I thought it was going to be something else. Everyone thinks, oh my gosh, you create a billboard, you create, advertisements. So fun. No. I will never go into advertising, never go work for an advertising agency, because it is you have to enjoy that to be able to have that as a career. It's so much intensive research. I just did a advertising campaign for my campaigns class. It's your final capstone class for when you graduate with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh, hell yeah. Go Thunder. Thunder up. That's my team. Yeah. I love the Thunder.
That was really cool, but it's just because we actually worked with them one-on-one.
Really?
Yeah, with the people head of marketing there. Oh, yeah. So it was a really cool experience, but it's I will never go into advertising.
Yeah.
That really just put a different view in my eye. And I have mad respect for people that are in advertising, because it is there's so many times I cried my senior semester of college, because I was I hate this. How am I going to graduate with this? And it was just too late to change my major. If I could go back to college, I would change my major to something in fashion, but they don't offer that at OU, which is unfortunate. I know Tech has a really good fashion degree. Yeah. And then I forgot what other college does. I think TCU.
My mom went to South Carolina, and her degree's in fashion merchandising.
Yeah. See, if I could go back, I would definitely do something like that. Yeah. But it's I didn't know at the time that I went in,
Yeah.
What is your mom's what is that technically?
Well, she doesn't even do cabbie anymore. Have you ever heard of cabbie? It's called Carol Anderson by Invitation, but my mom did that for
What was it?
It's basically it's you get seasonal clothing, and you basically get you basically spend I don't know, $2,000 to $3,000, whatever the upfront cost of the clothing is.
Yeah.
And you have all the samples, and basically you do these shows throughout the years. It's kind of like sales, but in your own way. And you do these shows throughout the years, but they give you a catalog of how to style it, but my mom never did it by the book. She did it on her own.
Yeah.
And my mom would just do super well, because she'd put the clothing together. When she'd do the shows, she'd show these women how to wear the clothing, and they'd be oh, that's not how I thought it would be. So my mom would make a bunch of sales, and she would just
that's awesome.
Walk around with the rack all year, and then she would sell the rack at the end of the year, sample sales. She still has clothing to this day, but now she's trying to design belts and stuff. Yeah, because my mom went to New York Fashion Week.
Really? Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, so she's trying to do that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And, I definitely should introduce y'all at some point, just because you're doing
that's so cool.
What you're doing, yeah. So I guess with branding and marketing and how you're advertising your clothing.
I just geek.
So how do you go about having girls wear your pieces? Do you have friends from college, or do you you said you have friends through social media, or do you try to get it into influencers' hands to kind of blow your product?
Actually, so we tested out the brand ambassador thing, where we weren't paying anyone, but we would be okay, we would send out a thing, we would post a thing, all right, we're looking for brand ambassadors, all that. And so we had a ton of people apply, and we would just go through them, and we'd be okay, we think this person would be a good fit, all that. And so we would send them clothes, and then they would post about them, all that. And they had to do it a certain amount of times, And I don't know. I feel we didn't have any contracts at the time that we did that. And so I feel people definitely took advantage of that, because they also use their codes, a lot. And so when you're giving someone 30% off all the time.
Jeez, yeah.
And then, it was 30% off if you were a brand ambassador.
That's great.
Yeah. And if you're doing that, but you're not posting when we tell you to post, it's just you're kind of taking advantage, and it's hurting us, because we could be selling that.
Yeah.
And then, most of the sizes are sizes that a majority of everyone wears, and when you're only getting a certain amount of sizes in a pack, so but yeah, we're working right now on a new program for the ambassadors, and I've had a couple people actually DM me, and they're oh my gosh, I just came across your Instagram, I would love to be a brand ambassador and all that. So we're working on making that contract and figuring out, okay, this is what we want them to do and all that. So yeah, we have that. And then also, I have friends that they're I'll so promote your stuff. And they'll just take pics and stuff that they've bought from me with like, they don't expect me to give them discounts. I mean, that is one thing with starting a business that I've realized is the friend situation. You know, these people.
Yeah, talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Love my friends and everything. But there's some people that I'm not friends with now that when my business started, like they kind of expected things. And it's just like, I can't give you free stuff, you know. I can't give you discounts all the time. It affects my business that I'm putting money into.
Yeah, I was about to say, because like I feel like if they were like not a true friend, but if they really understood what had to go into it, they're gonna buy it regardless, just to support you. You know what I mean?
And that's another thing I've realized is, you know, people that I thought were my best friends. It's unfortunate, but like a lot of them, like I felt no support from them at all, and it's really sad because it's like if they started a business, I would 100% support them. Do whatever I can to show like, oh I'm so proud of you. Yeah. And like whenever I had like my first pop-up at my house, it was like the launch. Most of them didn't even attend. And it's just like, you know, the older you get and then the stuff when you do have like successes and everything, you realize who really is there for you and who wants to be there clapping. And I don't know, just the whole thing just has been a learning experience. And I don't know, I realized who the real ones are.
Yeah.
So
one of our friends makes clothes, and I've never asked them for a free piece or discount on anything.
Yeah.
And like we have friends that have hooked it up, but like I met a person we had on our podcast like earlier in the year, and we had him on, and then he dropped like his Texas collection, and I like got every piece, and like his stuff isn't cheap, but I still like I still supported him, and like I didn't complain about the prices or like you know try to be like, oh well, can I get this or you know, I don't know. I just think if you just got to show the support, and like we were talking about earlier, like we understand it just because we're trying to do something ourselves.
Yeah, y'all are starting clothing, right?
Yeah. Opinionated thread. So
I saw that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so just to speak on it a little bit. Just to speak on it a little bit. We're gonna do clothing. Obviously, like merch is important for a business, especially like we're doing content. Yeah. But I think just because we all like wearing nice clothes, we all like dressing well. So I think we want to just take it up a notch and not just drop like just a shirt to put out. We want to like do like purposeful clothing. So like have some kind of essentials lines, have like collections that make sense to what we're doing. Like obviously you're going to make money from it, but you don't want to just be putting stuff out. So we want to like have high quality, like luxury, like streetwear in a sense. And, you know, get that going. And that's a whole other endeavor that we have no idea. So it's like cool to talk to people that are already into the clothing market.
That's really cool that y'all are going that route. And what you said about just throwing it out there with like, you don't want to just throw out just mid like type of clothing or whatever. And it goes the same way for content. You don't want to just post a post. If it's not good quality content, then don't waste your time posting it. You know, I've learned that. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I was in college, I was like, I'm just gonna throw content out just to throw it out. Yeah. And I've learned by like attending these like meetings and conferences and everything where you learn and everything that, you know, quality is way better over just, you know, throwing out mid stuff. So
I guess one last question for me. If there's any like dream person you could like make a clothing like collab with, like designer, who would it be?
Ooh, I've never thought of that.
Great question, Cam. Like that was like fantastic. Ooh,
I'm having to think on this one. I would say. Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay.
I wasn't expecting that.
She's like, man, that was a good question, man.
There's so many people out there.
Top three.
Yeah, what would be your top three that you could work with?
I mean, do they have to be like a designer?
It could be anybody that I guess has influence in that kind of, like they do clothes or they're an icon or whatever, I feel like.
You know who I really look up to that's an influencer? She doesn't really focus on, I mean, she does focus on some fashion. Like she's always dressed so cute and all of that. But she does a lot of like stuff with like food, like recipes and like cute little activities like flowers and I posted a little flower thing. I don't know. If
I just saw that.
She does stuff like that. But anyways, Hannah Ann.
Okay.
I forgot she just got engaged to this guy that plays for the Los Angeles Rams.
Hannah Ann Sluss, is that her?
Yes.
Okay.
She was on The Bachelor.
Oh.
And I don't know. I feel like me and her are very similar in a lot of ways. And doing something with her would be like really awesome, you know? I mean, it's not like she's like super famous, but she is an influencer, and I definitely look up to her.
Yeah. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, her content looks pretty cool. She dates Jake Funk, I guess is his name. He plays for the Rams.
Kicker, a punter or something?
Yeah, it looks like a fullback, like 34.
A kicker, a punter or something?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I look up to her a lot. Who else? If there was a second person, gosh, I'm like horrible at like thinking about like I know, but I can't think of it at the top of my head. There's so many influencers out there.
It's whoever, I mean, it's whoever you like.
Guys, this is tough. I'm so sorry. I was not prepared. I don't know.
Well, I have another one then.
All right.
What are your top brands to wear outside of your own clothing?
Okay, love Zara.
Okay.
Zara is my number one go-to if I don't find something like in my shop. Like Zara is definitely the one that is always on that like the fashion trends all the time.
Gotcha.
You can walk in like because they have men's. Have you ever
Yeah.
shopped
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
I've never shopped.
I've never
You
shopped.
need to go there and shop there. I put my brothers on it and they love it. So they do.
Yeah. No,
There's a lot of good
There's a lot of good stuff there for sure.
Wait, you've shopped there before?
No, but like
I've seen it.
I've
I know what the store is. I've just never like been in or like looked at it or any.
All right,
like,
well, y'all, after this combo, you definitely need to go check it out.
But, say less.
And then another brand, I would say, I wear some stuff that's Forever 21, but it's just like lounge stuff.
Yeah,
Like, they don't really have high quality pieces. Like it's gonna be cheap.
Yeah.
It's gonna break. But
Yeah.
their lounge stuff is good. I wear that. They're like one of my faves when it comes to the lounge stuff.
Okay.
And then my third, I would say, when it comes to, I'm always wearing like athletic stuff. It's this brand called Beach Riot.
Okay.
And they have the best like workout clothing because I'm very picky when it comes to my workout clothing. I don't like the cheap material type of leggings, especially when you're like doing squats and stuff. Like you don't want to have like bad quality.
Yeah.
I understand.
No doubt.
Are they comparable to anybody that you would say? Like Fabletics or like
Lulu.
See,
Lulu or...
Aloe is the new one.
I've never tried Aloe. I need to try it.
I want to try some of their stuff.
A lot of my friends love that brand, but you know, I guess you could compare it to Lulu, but I almost think it's better than Lulu. I don't wear Lulu anymore.
Really?
Yeah. I wear maybe my old pieces that are like black leggings.
Yeah.
Tight shit.
Aritzia is another good one I really
Aritzia.
like. That's high quality workout stuff. Wear their basics all the time. So yeah, that's what I would say my top favorites are because all the other clothing I wear is like my boutique stuff. So I really don't know of any places that I would shop at other than that. So
Yeah.
My favorite brand right now is All Saints.
All Saints. Don't think I've ever heard of it.
They're fire. They're expensive, but their clothes are comfortable.
It is expensive.
It's like
Is it like
fire.
athletic?
it's
high.
just like business.
It's like business casual. Like you like walk out, you know, make a coffee, like go down go work at Starbucks, like that type of clothing.
But it's
Oh,
sick,
okay.
like
Go work at Starbucks? I don't know what you just
like work from home clothing, like
Starbucks.
yeah, it's not like, but it's nice enough to go like to the bar.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
because like their shirts are like plain like solid colors.
Solid
right?
colors.
yeah, some. I mean, they have
some
different. Like they have
materials.
some that have designs on them. All the ones I have are like plain solid colors.
Uh-huh.
And they're super super comfortable.
Yeah.
Each shirt like
They're like $100.
Yeah, like $140.
serious?
Yeah, like $140.
He's fucking rich.
Oh my god.
That boy is paid,
Different
man.
tax
Okay, I only get their stuff when it's on sale.
On sale.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So they'll have one in the domain, and they'll have like buy one and get ones, or like spend a certain amount, get a certain amount off, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's when I get like my shirts. The
Yeah.
only time I've spent 100% like cost of it
Yeah.
was when Oklahoma beat Texas when we were up, and they came back and win with Caleb Williams. That was my like. I gotta go. I'm sad.
Sad
that man
day
went
for
to-
you.
She probably
I gotta
Sad
go
day.
spend some money. That was like the only time I ever
sad
like.
day for you.
Yeah, very
God.
sad. Hey, it's okay. We like suck now. So.
Nah, we're fine. Don't say that. We'll be
You can say
good.
that again.
I was like, I have one more question for you.
Yes.
So, what is like? I wouldn't say the end goal, but like, what is how you say like what is your aspirations for like off the wall? Like, what is your goal? Like, what are you trying to accomplish?
I mean, my long-term goal, I mean, this is like something I want to, I would say I want my online to just be so, you know who I look up to, this boutique, it's called Pink Lily. If you want to look that up.
Yeah, of course.
yeah. Put it on real quick.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, wow. 1.6 mil. Okay.
Yeah, so they have
Top vibe.
there's an awesome backstory to that, and they grew, their warehouse now is insane.
Really?
Like, it's insane. Everyone looks up to this boutique. And so I would say that my long-term goal would be to be like them. Like, they're doing so awesome right now. They work with so many influencers. They do these paid trips for these influencers to come in, promote all their stuff. I would love to be able to do that, Yeah. And I would also love to, I see there's like this other influencer I follow. She started this brand that's more, it's like basics and everything, like basic shirts, sweatpants, like sets, all of that sort of thing. And she has this huge warehouse, and she has her whole family working for her. That's how good the business is doing. And I'm like, that's so awesome. If you could have your entire family, you're doing so good that your parents, they can quit their jobs and whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Your brothers, your sisters can come and work for you. I would love that. So I guess I would say that'd be long-term goal of mine. So, I'll be really proud of myself when I get there, because I feel like a lot of people like kind of doubt me, I mean, I hate to say it, but like they do. And it's like, I'm going to prove to them.
Put a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
That's how it is, unfortunately.
And so I just cannot wait to prove to these people that I know that doubt me and think they do.
Let them know. Point out
They
that
think I'm going to fail, but I am not going to fail.
Yeah.
I can't wait to honestly look back at this podcast and be like, wow, like I was talking about this during that time.
Yeah.
And look where I am.
Yeah,
Now
no doubt.
tears
That's what it.
coming down.
She's spitting. She's spitting.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. For sure.
Yeah. So we'll see. I have this vision that by the time that I hit 30, I'm gonna be at that place.
Yeah.
Y'all wait.
Oh, yeah,
Y'all
you got
Into
it.
existence.
Yeah, you
I'm manifesting.
Speaking into
we get into existence.
So-
You got to.
You have anything else before this?
I guess I have one more question.
Oh, you in the question?
Yeah, sorry. I just so I guess for people that are trying to start a business or do something creative like this,
Yeah.
like what advice do you have for them?
I would say like you need to go after what you feel in your heart is like whatever's on your mind or heart, you need to like take that and run with it, because if you don't do things and you're scared and all of that, like I know personally, like especially with my influencing, I used to be so worried about what others thought. I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to get so annoyed with me. Because when you do influencing, you have to post like 6 times a day. Then you have to do like a certain amount of posts a week, do all that. And it's like, I just was in that mindset of people are going to be so annoyed at me. They're going to unfollow me. But it's like, you know what? I don't care. I got to a place where I was like, I don't care what others think. So you need to learn to not care what others think. And it's obviously going to take time to get there. Like it took me a while to get there. And you just have to be confident with yourself. And whatever you put your mind to, you can really it'll do extremes if you just got to stick with it. And so I would just say go after what you want, and it will reward you at the end of the day. So never hold back on what's on your heart. So
I like that.
Yeah.
No, that's it for me. Thank you for coming onto the pod.
Thanks for having me.
Especially like
it was fun.
meeting you the first time, and like you were kind of talking to me about like 2 years ago. You're kind of talking to me about like what you're trying to do. So it's cool to like see where you're going, and you're still doing it, because it's very easy to just be like, nah, I'm just gonna stop. So it's cool to see it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Before we hit this off, do you have anything for us?
No, I just want to thank y'all.
Of course,
I was very nervous
course.
coming into this, and this was my first podcast, and I was like, I don't know if I can do it, but I'm like, I have to go after different things that's going to get me out of my comfort zone. So thank y'all for getting me out of my comfort zone.
Of course. It's nerve-wracking at first because you got the lights, the cameras, and all that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's just a conversation.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
You killed it. That was really good.
Thank
Good pod.
you.
They can find you everywhere at Off the Wall Boutique.
Yep. Off the Wall Fashions Boutique.
Off the Wall Fashions Boutique.
Yeah.
And that's going to be on Instagram.
And TikTok and Facebook.
And then your TikTok, you're going to plug your personal socials as well?
So my personal for Instagram is Haleigh_Weaver. And then my TikTok is HaleighWeaver124.
Nice.
So,
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All that will be down below. Again, like you said, thank you for taking time out of your day and coming out here.
Me.
But it was a pleasure. I liked it. I learned.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Awesome. Great pod.
Yeah, I liked it. I meant to ask, what does your mom do for the boutique?
Oh, she helps with buying. I mean, I do a lot of buying. I pick out the stuff, but she does buying and then bringing in just inventory to the stores back in Texas, or we're in Texas, but to Keywood and Sugarland. So,
Okay.
And then she goes to market with.
Is she
me.
like part
and,
of the?
and helps with pop-ups. So.
Dope. She like part of the business too. She like a business partner.
No, we're both
That's
half.
cool.
It's both half.
That's
so.
That's super cool.
Super cool.
Yeah.
But make sure to give her a follow. Go watch her TikToks. Go watch her.
He's such a
your
boomer.
personal one? No, your personal. I mean your business one. Off the Wall Fashion Boutique.
Off the Wall Fashions Boutique.
Okay, because I always said Off the Wall Boutique, but it's Off the Wall Fashion Boutique.
Yeah, don't forget the fashion
Yeah,
with the
fashion.
S.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, that's what I get right. You know what I'm saying? Go run it up, get her numbers up, but show her some love. Again, thank you coming on.
Thank you guys.
But that'll do it for another episode from the Opinionated Boys. We'll catch y'all guys next time. Peace.
See you.